Wyland is triumphantly back in chat, so let us know when you can hear us, Wyland. Talking about Death Stranding, or as I like to call it, Death Sim Stranding. So there you go. All right, he says he can hear us, so that's cool. I think we're good there. We're just waiting on Breakman. Lots to talk about today. Eric, I really want you to hold your Doctor Sleep review till next week, if possible, just to give people a chance to watch it. I watched it as well. I'm eager to talk about it too. We will talk about Terminator, though. Eric and I.
No, are you like saying that to give everybody that's listening, or break possibly as well?
Break possibly as well, but everybody in general, Eric, because I feel like when we do reviews the day of, like it doesn't give anybody a chance to really watch it. Either they watch it after the show or over the weekend. So I think a week is okay to, to go ahead and give people a chance to watch it. That way, if we happen to accidentally spoil anything, then it's not that great of a deal. But I will say I did watch it, and it's I've got a lot to say. Let's just put it that way. And you're gonna want to tune in next week to hear that because it's surprising is the word that I can use. I think The Shining is my all-time favorite horror movie, even though I know Stephen King hates it and whatnot. A lot of buzz about the Monster Bracket Challenge. I'm not going to spoil it for Wyland. He's going to listen tonight to that portion of the show at least, I hope. But really surprising, Wyland. You're going to be super surprised who won the whole damn thing. I was, Eric was, I know Breakman was, but who do you think? I don't know if we have that. Did you post that, Eric?
Yeah.
The whole, okay. I think you have access to the actually, don't look at the bracket, Wyland, if you know where the summary is, because that kind of tells you who won. But of all the monsters, current, former, all that, like the big majors, the minors, who do you think came through and won the whole thing, Wyland? I'm super excited, man, because next year is going to be awesome. I'm going to do this annually. And we may have different perspectives next year because I was really surprised who won. A lot of buzz about that, Eric. Got a few people asking me about that, so that's why I was really happy with the way it came out because that's what brackets are all about. Some upsets and stuff like that. It was fun. It was definitely fun. Just take a wild guess, Wyland. Just one wild guess as to who won that challenge. I'll just say it's really surprising. Think new monsters, old monsters, demons, ghosts, stuff like that. I threw, what was it, 48 movie monsters, Eric, that entered, and one left. One very surprising one won the whole damn thing. So a lot of fun, lots of fun. I think that's going to be a Halloween tradition from now on because I think everybody had a fun time with that. Did you like that challenge, Eric? I think we could have added a few more monsters. Like after thinking about it, I could have added at least a few more. I want to get it up to 64 next year. This year was 48. We'll get it up to 64, and then we'll do most of a show just doing that. Just waiting on Break to enter the fray here, and we will get started with the show. If you're just joining us, the show's RPGrinders. I think we have about a few minutes to go. Usually Breakman's stuck in traffic in the natty, so we'll hold off until we know what's going on with Break. He always shows up. He's very, very reliable. It's like Eric. What What do we got going on today, Eric? I know you had a very cool, well, I don't know how cool it is, but a very good topic to talk about in Free For All about fandom ruining developers or at least dampening spirits of developers. So we'll talk about that. A little bit of politics. I have a review of Talos Principle. I finally beat Talos Principle, so that should be fun. I know I've been teasing that week after week, but that game is, oh boy, I'll get into it. It's a great game, but it's really hard, really obtuse puzzle first person game. You can play it in third person, but I think first person does it justice a little bit better. What else? Black Friday's coming up. I saw some of the sales. I don't know if we'll get into that. Maybe next week we'll get into that. Yeah, Blizzard's non-apology for sure. That's yeah.
I think Facebook notifications are a little outdated because it's telling me I haven't updated the RPGrinders podcast fan page. I just did it today.
Yeah. Let's see. Invisible Man. Actually, you're wrong, Wyland, but that movie looks very intriguing. I think that movie looks actually pretty good.
Well, they're doing an Invisible Man movie.
Yes. Okay. And it looks good. Hollow Man was good. I thought Hollow Man did a really good job with the Invisible Man.
Did they call it Hollow Man because they wanted to do Invisible Man, or they couldn't get the rights, so they did their own version?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's why. But Hollow Man 1 was actually, I thought, pretty, I don't know, pretty well done. But yeah, it's going to be fun. If you're just, like I said, if you're just joining us, we're just holding off for Breakman, shows RPGrinders. I'm Frank, and I'm on the line with Eric. Yeah, I agree. Wyland says he thinks Hollow Man is underrated. I totally agree with that, Wyland. I really, and you know, the funny thing is they kind of went there with Hollow Man. You know, a lot of people shy away from like sexual assault and stuff, but that movie went full bore on with it, and you know, I thought that movie had a lot of heart, a lot of balls, basically. But you know, it is what it is. So let me see if I got it. You didn't get anything from Break, did you? Iraq. Let's see if I did. Yeah, we're good to go. Yeah, gonna retweet that. I know Break is there, so it's just a matter of him getting his computer up and running. So yeah.
Breaks broke PC.
He always has a broke PC, man. PCs are broken in general, man. I don't know. Let's see. So yeah, the long-awaited Talos Principle review I will have during the show. I don't know. I know Eric and I are going to do Terminator Dark Fate. Wyland, you have a chance to watch Terminator yet? I'm sure you did. Wyland's all over the Terminator franchise. We'll try to do as much as we can, spoiler free. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting interview. You beat Luigi's
interview
or review, I mean. You beat Luigi's Mansion, Eric?
Yeah.
Damn.
I only needed a day and a half to get through it all.
Okay, Wyland says go nuts with it. So we will. We're not going to spoil too much, but it's going to be...
well, how do you only see the beginning of a movie?
I don't know. That is a good question. Maybe online.
Did you watch like one of those 10-minute trailers or something?
Yeah, like the first 10 minutes or something. The first 10 minutes were really bang up, man. So if that's what you got to watch, that's, you know, it's a good little beginning. Let's see. Yeah, fuck Obama, man. I'm so sick of fucking neoliberal bullshit, man. I talked about that last week. And fuck Joe Biden, too.
Oh, Obama's not even a neoliberal. He's a Republican that pretends to be a neoliberal.
Ugh. Yeah, he's basically Republican, just like Joe Biden. Yeah, it did bomb, and I think that sucks, man, because I thought
it's a good movie, but
yeah,
there's things about it that I didn't like, but we'll talk about that later.
yeah, we'll definitely talk about it.
I mean, there are things about it that I initially didn't like, but on further reflection, it actually kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Just waiting on break. I don't know what's going on with break.
And the things I don't like about the movie are the things I don't like about most of these soft reboots and stuff.
Yeah, I liked
and then the rehashing of content from 20 years ago.
Well, I actually like what they did with Dark Fate, man.
Or in the case of Doctor Sleep 40 years ago, but whatever.
Thought they did a good job with that too.
No, it's a good movie, but like, it is running with that undercurrent of stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, I thought it was a masterful job, and I'll talk about that next week when we do that review, Eric. I guess we could do it today, as long as we do, spoiler free. But it's kind of hard to do with that one.
We'll wait.
People were turned off by
unless we have like loads of time at the end of the show, and then we'll just save it for next week.
Yeah, let's just save it. People were turned off by the beginning. I know why, Wyland, but I agree. I think I totally agree with you. It's one of the most interesting things they've done for many years since T2. I like T3. I don't know why they didn't kind of leave that in. I mean, I know why, but
I mean, I don't like. Conceptually, I hate T3, but there are parts of the movie that were done well, I think.
I just
like,
think
because like T3 had a lot of the same problems that Terminator 2 did, and Terminator 2 was still a great movie, but like they were basically just doing Terminator 2 again.
Yeah, but they miscast it. I think that was the biggest problem with 3.
Like my big problem with Terminator 2, which isn't even a big problem at all, but it's more of a thing that was just a thing that was done in the 90s, but like it was a chase movie.
Yeah, but that's what made it exciting.
And like they should have leaned harder on the horror aspects from the original movie a little bit more, but they didn't.
Maybe. Wyland says Sarah Connor Chronicles is his T3. You know what's funny, Wyland? I've never seen Sarah Connor Chronicles, and I heard that it was really, really good. But
that's also something that's also wrong with Dark Fate, in my opinion. It's like they didn't lean harder on the horror aspects.
Yeah, well, I mean, they got an R rating, but they didn't want a really hard R rating. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I thought they did a decent job. We'll talk about it today. Break.
It's almost as if they planned on making a PG-13 movie, and then it was too violent for the ratings board, so they made it R.
Yeah. Let me see if. Nope. I was gonna see if. Can you look and see if Break is in chat? Because he didn't DM me or anything on Twitter. Let me know if he was gonna be here or not. We'll probably start without him here in a few if he doesn't.
Interestingly enough, Dark Fate actually kind of makes that canon. The Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Oh, huh. I liked.
I never watched it though, but from what I could tell from what the premise of the show was, they act like they acknowledged it in the movie.
Yeah. No messages yet from. Break is online. I think he's having problems. I did not know that they canceled that because of Salvation. That really sucks because Salvation sucked ass. Terrible.
Like the only good thing that came from Salvation is the fact that they explained exactly what the T-800 was a little bit better, because when he said cybernetic organisms, like that's just what cyborg means, but like they actually just made this guy a legit cyborg.
Yeah. It's all good.
It's like so like the whole movie was about like this is why the T-800s exist in the first place, because he was the template for it.
Yeah. I don't know. I liked what they did in Dark Fate. I don't know. We'll get into it, but let's get Break in here, and then we'll get the party started.
So I'm gonna call the name of the episode "Break's Shitty PC Strikes Again."
Yeah, probably. I'm calling them now. Oh, perfect timing. What's up, Break?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, not much,
I guess
man.
it works. I'm here.
Yeah, you're here. I can't believe it works with your PC, but we're here.
I can't believe DOS would work with this PC.
I think the funniest thing that Break ever did was promoting his free repair service, but he called it the Breakman's Repair Service, so it's like shifty. So this guy, I wonder if Break bought his own like thing from the repair service, but they did a shit job. So
Hey, Break, have you had a
his
chance?
PC's broken.
Have you had a chance to see Terminator yet, Break?
No, I'm not going to go see Terminator. I don't care.
Okay, all right. You ready to go? Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Okay,
sure.
you ready, Eric?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. And welcome everybody to episode 564, as I'm touching myself listening to this opening intro music according to Breakman. I'm your host, Frank Branches, alongside my trusty cohorts, Eric the Great and Breakman the Bold. Gentlemen, how are you?
Just addressing Waylon's comment about the whole Blitzchung thing. It's like Jeff Kaplan has told the Washington Post he believes the Blitzchung component should be reduced further, and that he doesn't support it. By reduced further, I hope he means completely dropping it.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that later, I think, Eric, because I think that's coming up in your Stinko.
No, that was last week.
Oh, that was? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then
Although it kind of ties into like the aftermath of that.
Yeah. So. All right, Break. How was
you mean the aftermath where Blizzard keeps digging its hole deeper?
Yeah, exactly right, man. All right, well,
that sucks. Every story I read about Blizzard now is it's all negative anymore. Yep. It's like, God, man, I've always loved Blizzard.
I know. They're both shitting the bed really hard now.
EA, Blizzard, and what's the other one?
And 2K.
And BioWare and 2K, man. Like the Fab Four are fucking gaming right now, man.
2K can't do PC ports apparently because Red Dead is broken.
Ugh. And they're sports games.
I knew there were glitches in the original release, but it's like I think it's especially bad on PC somehow.
Yeah.
Like it's causing your system to crash bad.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into the news, and then we'll get into a bunch of that stuff. So RPG news. All right, Eric, you're up.
All right, I've got we got not a whole lot of news this week, but that's fine. It's the end of the year, so news is dwindling.
Yeah.
But we got Monster Rancher, I think it's just called Monster Farm in Japan. But
now they need a Monster Hunter Monster Rancher crossover.
Yeah. Just watch. That'll happen.
Monster Rancher X Monster Hunter, man. That'd be awesome.
And they had a Witcher 3 crossover, so why not?
Yeah.
But I'm surprised
they also had like Mega Man and Monster Hunter.
I'm surprised they didn't do a Neo crossover yet, but whatever.
Gears of Monster Rancher.
Yeah, why don't they throw Terminator in there, Dark Fate in there?
Yeah, Monster Rancher Dark Fate.
Suddenly Terminator comes out and is blown away to monster. Like, what the fuck is going on here? And then RoboCop comes out from the side.
The Monster Rancher
port, like, what the fuck?
RoboCop.
Monster Rancher port for. I guess it doesn't say it's enhanced. They might just straight up just port the game.
Oh my god.
But it's coming to Japan on December 19th. No word on international release, but it also says the iOS and Android version will be coming out November 28th.
Yeah, you really know you're jumping the shark when you port it over to iOS and Android, man, of all things.
Well, it'd be easy. It sounds like they're using just slightly up-resed, so it doesn't look like ass on a modern device port the game. So it's basically like Final Fantasy VII port.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, let's move on. Breakman, you're up.
There's more from Johnny Buffet. I was relieved when they reduced his suspension, Kaplan said in a Friday phone interview. And I think the suspension should be reduced more or eliminated, but that's just me. Ugh. So, who is Jeff Kaplan? No, I'm serious. I'm asking
He's a senator.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's come to this where I know I was trying to like get to the how like big this is. A senator is fucking saying like to this company like, listen, like you've chosen
a foreign power over
foreign money from another country over U.S. citizen.
Sounds like Trump. A lot like Trump. So yeah, well.
I mean, when you've got a senator.
Yeah, I know.
Getting involved in this, like that's. Blizzard, get your shit together.
We talk about things like this, Breakman, but what about Jamal Khashoggi? He was a United States resident and got murdered and butchered.
Yeah.
Literally butchered.
And meanwhile, Trump's still selling them weapons and stuff.
Yeah. Lots to talk about when we get to our stinkos, Breakman, but let's move on.
Yeah, what, is it my turn?
Yep.
Oh, anyway, coming to us live from RPG site. Def End Quest 2.
Oh wait, he's not the senator, but there was a senator that did say something to that effect.
Oh, he's not who's the senator? Who's what? He's not a senator.
Okay.
Who's the senator? There was a senator. He's the VP of Blizzard.
Oh God.
Oh, okay. Jeff Kaplan. Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Who's the senator that said the senator got involved? But okay, so. Jeff Kaplan is saying that they need to who's they then?
Yeah.
He's the VP of Blizzard.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, shouldn't he be in does the VP of Blizzard have a similar position to the VP of the US? Because it sounds like he can't do anything.
Freak is in chat. What's up, Freak?
I feel stupid right now.
Community Showcase is in chat. I don't know who Community Showcase is.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he has the difference between being a VP and being the chairman. Because if you're the president, you're also the chairman. So,
but I'm saying he's saying they. Like it's not like he's not involved in this in any way. Like there's nothing I can do about it. I'm just sitting back and watching.
I'm the VP.
Like
but there's nothing I can do.
I'm the VP of Blizzard. I have no power whatsoever.
That's so stupid. These corporate heads, man. The way that they try to get around. Bullshit, man. Let's move on. Then we'll get to it, man. We'll definitely get to it.
So, anyways, this game set to release on February 13th, 2020 in Japan. Battle systems and opening below. So, you guys can't see that. But,
no,
if you're listening, but
not yet.
Watching.
Yeah.
Here's the features. The game uses a turn-based combat battle system. There will be 3 members in battle, and the order of turns is determined by the speed of each character. Oh, well, really? That's amazing. I don't think any game's ever done that before.
Yeah, Wyland, we've talked about shareholders before, but we'll get into it again. Yeah, I know. I agree with you, Break. That's never happened before.
No, never at all. At the start of each character's turn, they're able to move out freely on the field and determine from which direction to attack. So you can choose to perform combos with other characters or attack from outside the enemy's range. Here is the battle system. Track system. The track system allows players to take 3 actions in one turn. Actions include the attack, item, or guard under the skill menu. For example, by choosing attack, guard, and item, you may attack, guard, and use an item.
That is kind of cool. I like that.
Through the system, players can enjoy speedy battles with more strategy packed into a single side. No, but god damn it. Like,
the game also has a ping-pong-like effect, like where you can knock them into the boundaries of a level or into like certain damage tiles.
That's kind of cool. Super knockback, which is what Eric just talked about. I was going to get to that. Anyways, he explained it, so I'll move on. Glitch mode. Glitch mode is an enhancement system provides cheat class abilities. Each time a My and company touch a curse or is attacked, or corruption level increases. If corruption exceeds a certain threshold, characters will transform into glitch mode. It is easier to activate glitch mode this time around compared to the original game, making battles more and more exhilarating. The character's appearance will change when glitch mode is activated.
In other words, the game will be easier because when you're in glitch mode, you basically get a single turn to do a high-powered attack. So
that's cool. I guess that's cool.
I mean, you could decide to like just tank it and not attack, and I think you'll still remain in glitch mode, but if you do any kind of attack whatsoever, you'll get knocked out of it.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the next story from RPGsite.net.
Maybe they'll make it more interesting. Maybe glitch mode will have like maybe it'll last like longer, but there'll be like a slight nerf to it so that it's actually more useful.
Okay. Valkyria Chronicles 4 on Steam updated to the complete edition. So that's kind of nice. It's going to be $49.99. That's a steep price to pay, but great game, Valkyria.
That's a drop from its like normal price.
Okay. Now it includes the DLC, which is cool. So there you go. You'll get all the DLC that comes out with that for that price. So if you're a PC gamer, there you go. All right, Eric, what do we got next?
So, but if you bought it on console like I did, you have to buy all the DLC still.
Oh, Jesus, that sucks. All right,
okay, the senators, it was more than one senator. I didn't even realize that. AOC was one of them.
Yeah, well, she's a rep, but yeah.
Yeah, so like AOC and Mark Rubio, Ron Whidden, Mike Gallagher, and Tom Malinowski.
Yeah, it's really weird when you get bipartisan support on anything, but man, that tells you how.
Like I said, like that's how big it is. Like senators are saying, like, listen, you dicks. Like, are you American or?
Yeah, they're attacking Blizzard, but they could also technically be attacking any company that's like deferring to the Chinese government.
Meanwhile, I'm betting some of those are taking money from outside governments.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Or at the very least, we know they're taking money from companies like. The lobbyists from
we're going to talk
like
about that as well.
Insurance lobbies, healthcare lobbies.
Yep.
Just there's so many lobbies.
Break. We're going to talk about that specifically for sure. So just keep that in mind because I'm gonna bring that up because I'm pissed about that. Go ahead, Eric.
Okay, Arc of Alchemist to launch on Nintendo Switch in the West, in addition to the PS4. Idea Factory International has announced that Arc of Alchemist will also see release on Nintendo Switch. Let's see, it doesn't say when in 2020, but not. It originally came out in February of this year. The Switch version coming out in October, so that was recent. Anyways, it added new features that weren't found in the original PS4 release, such as the ability to control all characters in the game. I guess they were on AI before, but you choose from 7 plus available characters. Apparently, the only playable character in the initial release was Quinn Braceford, but you can now choose any member of the party to lead. Okay, and there's also streamlined gameplay. This update includes new items, including new base facilities that will help make it easier to level up your party. The UI is also improved for better gameplay quality. But it'll only be a digital title in North America, and strangely in Europe, where it's getting a physical release. But only for the PS4, which is weird.
That is weird.
It's like I'm kind of worried about IFI, how they've just been doing a bunch of digital only releases so far.
Yeah.
But like, I'm guessing they're getting enough money back that they can afford to do a physical release somewhere.
I guess in the places that it
and,
makes.
and it's like they're drawing a lottery as to which region gets the physical editions and which version of that game.
Or
in particular.
or they crunched the numbers and figured they could make more money in a certain region than another region by doing physical copies. I guess. I think the way of physical copies is going by the wayside.
Yeah.
I think
it costs money for them to do physical copies.
Yeah.
I imagine more so than it does digital, because with digital they still have to pay like licensing fees.
It's
to
way
companies
less.
Like Nintendo and Microsoft, stuff like that. But the physical copy means you gotta get it to a manufacturer, you gotta get it
distributed,
printed and pressed, and
all I can hope is that Nintendo Switch gets like cheaper and larger SD cards that I can use, because my 500 gig card that I'm using currently is mostly taken up now. I had to clear a lot of space out just to have room for other things.
Yeah. You can clear a download issue a lot quicker than you can a delivery issue.
Yep.
Or a shipping issue. You know? So yeah. Like you said, physical copies are definitely going away.
Which is one reason why I still find it puzzling they're still charging physical release prices for digital products.
I agree. I totally agree with that too. But
I'm not actually surprised by that. As expensive as games are, they were probably like, let's just do this and let's just not lower the prices because we could use as much money as possible.
Well, of course, that's the business model of any capitalist system, man. I mean, make as much money as you possibly can. All right, speaking of physical copies, the Alliance Alive HD Remastered will launch for Steam on January 16th. Actually, that's not physical, I don't think. This comes to us from RPG site.
Yeah, I think the two console versions are, but Steam wouldn't. So.
Yeah. NIS America has announced that, I just said that, remaster for PS4 and Switch last month. And
I think Breakman's trying to do an unofficial sequel to Parappa.
Let's get physical. I haven't heard that song in how many years, Breakman? That was like the most popular song of that year, if I remember correctly. And I'd like to forget it, to be honest with you. But that video. The video was, I agree. The video was really, really good. Key features: a vivid world, from lava-covered wastes to snowy mountains. The numerous themed realms around the world offer their own unique experiences, challenges, etc. Forged in batter. The ferocity and strife of combat can draw forth your inner reserves of power, build up determination to enter a state of ignition, which allows you to execute devastating critical attacks. Stand together. You cannot challenge the demons alone. Form alliances with guilds and factions to mobilize the strength of warriors and scholars all across the land to confront terrifying foes. Allying with guilds also grants you the ability to call upon them to aid you in the battle, among many useful other perks. You're going to need every last bit of help you can get. So... Freak says they charge the same for digital because of stores that sell physical would be at a disadvantage. That's true too.
No, that's only half true, because those stores could just easily take the initiative and lower the prices accordingly to be competitive.
No, they couldn't.
You're underestimating the power of Walmart and Amazon. Like they still sell a lot of physical copies of stuff. Like they are very, very powerful.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, it costs more, like Break was saying, to print up and.
I'm only also saying this because you still see lots of like discounts in stores anyway. So it's like.
Yeah, I mean, they eventually like throw stuff out and.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like their strategy for the first party Switch titles.
Throw stuff out. I meant like mark them down.
Yeah. Well, I've seen
the strategy for Walmart. It seems to be for Switch first-party Switch titles is to make it $50, so because that will be easier to clear their stock, so they can get more stock.
Yeah.
If they keep it at that price.
Yeah. Well, Walmart ruins a lot of things, man. But let's talk about another ruiner of things, Blizzard. Eric, next story, please.
Next story is about the World of Warcraft expansion, Shadowlands. It's the newest expansion that was announced as the 8th expansion. Who knows if it'll be the last? But because I don't know how much longer can people actually support Blizzard like this?
Oof, yeah, we'll talk about it, but I mean, they're still good.
Like how much longer will it take for people to wake up to the fact that they're not so great?
Yeah, the cinematic trailer obviously looks great. There's one thing Blizzard is really good at doing. It's hyping
Blizzard,
games.
just stop making games and start making movies.
Yeah, that would be
their games. Like Blizzard
I do
makes
too.
Great games.
Yes,
like,
they
Diablo's a fantastic series.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree with you.
That they're kind of ruining the mobile title.
StarCraft is fantastic. Like they make great games. They always have. It's just,
but
a
even
lot of great games that don't really appeal to me anymore, to be honest. But I mean, Diablo is like the only outlier, and I'm like, I kind of don't want to support Blizzard right now, so I kind of don't either. I kind of don't want to pick up the Switch version of Diablo 3, and I definitely don't want to play Overwatch on the Switch.
Yeah, like I love Blizzard.
Let's release Overwatch for like what? I think they sold it for $40 on the Switch, and then let's announce Overwatch 2, which is really just a glorified expansion that we're going to sell to you for $60.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
And the Switch version probably won't get it. So
their business decisions as of late are just no. I'm with you. I can't support them until they straighten their shit up.
If they ever do, it's sort of like EA.
If. You're right. It might be an if. If not, I'm just gonna buy their games at GameStop and stuff when they're used. That way I know they don't make shit off of it.
Or online,
just play other things and use that as a rainy day game.
I know, but I like. It's kind of like a fuck you buying it used because they don't make any damn money off of it.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with that. All right, anything else on this story, Eric, before we move on to the last story?
The expansion contains 5 new zones as well as 4 different covenants that the players could choose to align with, and new special skills for each class. The leveling system will also be modified with max levels characters brought down to level 50, working towards a cap of 60. Why would they want to level you down to make you work back up? Why don't they just raise the level cap to 70 instead? That makes more sense.
Well, I think with World of Warcraft specifically, they kept raising level cap. I forget what I got up to.
Freak is in chat. He would
the
know.
Other expansions.
Freak is in chat. He would know. Let us know, Freak, if you're still with us. Sometimes he's driving and his internet goes in and out. But I don't know. Anything else on this, Eric?
Oh God!
Which reminds me, that reminds me, what is the level cap for World of Warcraft Classic? So
that's what I mean. I don't remember. Oh, you mean the new Classic? I don't know. I think it was 50. I think they just went back to all the way down to
the base.
It wasn't that the original level cap. I think was 50.
Okay. Anything else on this, Eric?
No, that's it.
All right. Breakman, do the honors of the last story.
And we've been talking about them all episode. Blizzard comes to us live from RPG site. Diablo 4 announced for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. So there you go.
Yeah.
Here's some features of the game. Actually, you know what? Let's go down to the features we care about. Yes. Legendary heroes return: barbarians, sorceress, druids.
Yes.
I do not see necromancer.
No. That'll be an expansion, man.
Again,
or monks.
Yeah, they fucking assholes. Like, they realize the necromancer's the only one people really want.
So the necromancer's so good. Although the druid looks really fucking good, Break. I don't know if you saw the
necromancer's amazing. When they put the necromancer in the second one, that it was just over. There was no going back. This is God.
Take all the blood golems you want and have them kill everything for you instead.
I know, like, hey, make all your things. You guys go do some work. I gotta make the sandwich real quick.
Necromancer was fucking good. And Diablo
Uh-huh.
3 too, man. It's really
No,
really
but they
good.
made him DLC, like, and they're gonna do him with him again. So
Well,
fuck.
you just wait for the Ultimate Edition or whatever that comes out. That's what I do, Bray. Because
Yeah, maybe by then they'll not be assholes anymore.
I think they're kind of dumb for not doing a Switch version right out of the gate. So
yeah. The Switch version's really good, man. I want to get Diablo 3 for the Switch, but
Okay, there are 2 more classes to be announced.
geez, I wonder which one of I'll give you one guess as to what one of those classes is gonna be, man. It's like, come on, man. I mean, that's an easy call.
it's gonna be a hidden Murloc character, isn't it?
It's gonna be a merman.
Wow.
That's what it's gonna be.
Okay, so here's some feature highlights. Explore a vast, continuous world of Sanctuary and seamlessly travel across 5 distinct regions filled with dangerous foes. Quintessential Diablo gameplay, really? It better be. An open world inhabited by familiar threats and new, like deadly encounters with a massive multi-phase world bosses. What do you mean, massive multi-phase? Oh, I mean, I don't... Massive multi-phase world bosses. Okay. I think I do.
Freak says
actually.
Warcraft was level 60 for the original.
Oh, it was 60. Okay.
Yeah.
All new technology that will push the Diablo franchise to dark new depths with higher fidelity graphics and ability to create an expansion and open world experience. I'm stupid today. Just don't listen to me. I don't know what my problem is.
Just today, Break. Just today.
A dark new storyline where heroes will be called upon to face a challenge unlike any the world has seen before. What darker than the other stories they've had?
I know Diablo 3 was really dark, man.
Yeah, like
really,
their stories
really
haven't exactly been cheery.
Well, they're not exactly aiming for World of Warcraft like colorfulness, you know. It's like
So like I feel like the only way to like up the ante at this point is to make it like an end of world scenario.
yeah. The druid looks good though. Like turning into a werebear is very appealing. Breakman, I was looking at that.
Oh, that's right. That's when you could earn an epic ride. Your mount. Yes, he's right. Level 60 is when you earn a mount.
Yeah,
I remember now.
Yeah. All right. Anything else on this break?
God, like it before level 60, everything sucks. You get a mount, and it's like, oh, this is what the fuck was I doing before I had a mount? Now I can go places.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
And then you think you're badass, and you're running through the PvP levels, and oh shit, there's a high level guy. I'm just gonna run away from him, and you realize quickly his mount's a lot faster than yours, and there's not shit you can do.
Yeah,
So,
he just chases you.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And then you gotta try and go back to your body and hope he's not sitting there waiting. Oh shit, he set up camp. Fuck.
I just want to.
Why?
I just want another game with Mr. T in it. You know what I'm saying? Like bring back Mr. T.
Okay.
You remember that whole Mr. T World of Warcraft mohawk?
Yeah, he was like an orc or something.
Yeah.
No, I do not remember that actually.
You don't? What the hell's
No.
wrong with you, man? Okay. Anything else on
Was that a
story?
commercial or something?
Yeah, he was on a
There was
commercial.
an ad
and
for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny. He was like a level whatever war mohawk deal. I don't fucking know. I never played Warcraft really. All right, anything else on that break?
No. That's enough.
All right, does anybody-
there's more details, but
Okay.
it's Blizzard, we're mad at them.
Yeah, 40 was basic and 60 was epic, Freak 5 says. Okay. I'm going to hold off on homie discounts unless you guys have something specific
No.
because there's going to be plenty to talk about next week because of Black Friday and all kinds of stuff that's coming out. I know the Target ad was out.
Best Buy ad.
Best Buy's out.
Yeah,
So,
I might consider getting Catherine for $25 if I can find it. So.
yeah. All right. Let's Breakman, do you have anything in Dear Breakman this week?
No.
All right.
Just you talking about Terminator and how sad you were about not getting to see it. I'm sorry, man.
I saw
I'm
it.
comforting you now.
I saw it, so we're good, man. All right, here we go.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Inquiring minds want to know what you've been playing, Breakman.
Mostly Halo, Master Chief Collection. I'm on 4 now. I'm gonna go back and play ODST after I play through the 4th one,
All right.
single player, and then I've been playing Friday the 13th, which I suck. I
I suck at that game too, man. Like Freak 5 keeps suggesting like just playing it offline, and just getting better. And I tried a couple of times, but it's like, well, I'm really not good.
So the game's called Friday the Suck-Teeth for you instead.
Well, the problem, I tried playing just against the bots, but the bots don't play like people. Like they get the items and they'll go and get like the gas can and they immediately like just rush towards where the vehicle is. Like they jump in the water, they go like straight towards it, and it's just they don't behave like a real person would, where they try and duck into a house or something, and if I'm Jason or if I'm a camper, I'm just a victim.
You think they like set something up where they like take user data and use that to inform the AI? But whatever.
Well, they like I
beat
said,
him up before. I've knocked off his mask and stuff like that. But I guess I really need to play with other people because if people aren't even the bots are idiots. Yeah, exactly. Like they remind me of bots from like the PlayStation 2 era, like playing Time Splitters bots. Like you're shooting at them, suddenly they're hurt. They stop what they're doing and rush to where the health is. Like shit like that. Yeah. They always go right for the power weapons and just they're very single-minded. So.
Yeah. All right. What else?
So it doesn't really help that, and then playing and then trying to play against Jason, I think I need other people because if you want to get the car, like you need somebody to get the gas, you need a key, you need a battery. The boat, you need what you need the gas and a propeller.
Yeah, you do. You need the gas and the propeller. Wyland says he started Death Stranding, so that game looks super interesting. I want to play it.
Every preview I've seen of that game looks boring to me. You gotta tell us about this game. Why did you buy it?
Story.
Okay,
it's about story.
So people are calling out a walking simulator. That's a lie. I mean,
that was
me. It's a walking simulator in the truest sense of the word because the entire control scheme is about using the L and R buttons to control both your feet because you're wearing heavy equipment and you're a delivery man.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Oh god, that sounds painful.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine.
If you're interested in games like QWOP, then it's up your alley.
Yeah, Freak5 says I've had an easier time on harder level bots.
I think the game's trying to be like the deadly premonition of this decade.
Just on a more epic scale.
By this decade, I meant 2020 decade because we're basically there already. So.
Yeah. Freak says he's had an easier time on the harder level bots than the easier level bots break. So,
well, I played them a couple times. I'm like, no, these fuckers are stupid as shit. They're worthless. I can when I'm Jason, I can get kills. That's fine. Like I can be Jason and I can progress. But when I'm a camper, like it's just Jesus Christ. I'm teenage victim is all I am.
Yeah.
Teenage wasteland when I'm around, just wasted.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. Anything
We're
else?
All wasted.
Anything else you've been playing? Break.
No.
All right.
No, I must be old, and I think only you understood the reference.
Yes,
because we're old.
Well, Freak's old. He's a little older, but All right, Eric, what have you been playing?
I played more Orlando Detective Mysteria. I finally completed Jack's route. I'm on the final of the main 5 guys routes before I could do the 2 charmed routes, which are basically the non-ending endings where the game says you screwed up and made all the wrong decisions, so you didn't get to date any of these guys. But you have to do that to get platinum. You have to get all the relevant endings, but not all of it. I don't think the bad endings count, or the normal endings for each of the 5 characters. Just the endings that are the endings for those characters, the real endings. But other than that, I've been playing more Dark Devotion, which I'm warming up to by the minute. I mean, like I mentioned last week, like I discovered some things about it, and it's not as bad, and it gets easier, but there are still problems with it, like the fact that there should be a fast travel system instead of a checkpoint system, because there's a lot of backtracking you're going to want to do in the game, because your actual stat progression is based on exploration, because you have to find these stone tablets and when you activate them, you'll get a permanent boost to like one of 4 stats, which is stamina, critical hit chance, and attack power. And I think the other one is I forget what the other one is, but I think it's accuracy. No, faith. It's the faith stat, which determines how much casting of a spell you can do, or faith is used to open doors and chests and stuff like that.
Right.
But I think it could have really used some reworking there, and the fact that I guess maybe they didn't get a lot of feedback from the PC release because they had time to probably fix some of the issues people might have had with the game, and it still hasn't been fixed. But maybe with my review they might actually do something. I'd like to think that because I complained about certain things in like about Adalis and Oniken, and they fixed them. So
the power of Eric. All right, Eric. What else you been playing?
I've got through the rest of Luigi's Mansion 3 since I started it last week on Friday. I'll have a review of that in the review section.
All right. Anything else?
Other than that, I have not really been playing anything.
Well,
I wanted to play Mario and Sonic at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games thing, but I didn't get a chance to do it this week.
I don't want you to spoil your review, but you give Luigi's Mansion thumbs up or thumbs down?
Up.
Up, okay.
Yeah. Cool. Of course it was going to be up, man.
All right. I'm just wondering, like, I mean, I want to play it.
Yeah. I've been playing.
Spoil his review, so I just want to know if you liked it or not.
Yeah, of course. MPQ, of course, and finally, everybody, I beat Talos Principle. So we might as well.
The Talos Principle.
Yeah, the Talos.
He's been playing it so long he forgot the name of it.
It's the Talos Principle, but
he hasn't taken it out of his PlayStation in 42 years.
It's pretty much true, even though it's a digital copy. It's in my PlayStation.
No, he's never taken it out of his PlayStation.
Yeah, pretty much. I got it. Oddly, I got it in that humble bundle. I paid like $15, and I got all these great games. Man, it was really weird.
I'm waiting for the inevitable Switch release to play it.
Yeah, it's a good game, man. But let's get into
because a puzzle game is be good for an on-the-go system like the Switch.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of reviews.
RPGrinders reviews.
Okay. I'm gonna break. Do you have any reviews this week?
What?
Reviews. Do you have any reviews?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe.
No. Wait.
Okay.
No. Yeah. No.
I'm gonna go ahead and go into this review of Talos Principle that I've been teasing for weeks. It's a really good game. It's basically a puzzle game. You can play it in first-person view or third-person. I prefer the first-person for these type puzzles. Just made it a little bit easier for me. But some of these puzzles are so obtuse. Like, that's why it took me so long. Like, this is literally the longest puzzle game I think I've ever played. Like, I can't think of another game that lasted as long and was as challenging as this. And I'll be honest with you guys, I had to look up a couple of solutions because
so basically this game is missed.
Yeah, it's on the level of like a miss. Like, some of the solutions are kind of obtuse, and like there's nothing that you can't really not solve if you just spent like maybe a couple hours on a puzzle. But I wasn't willing to do that with all of them. So, once you get the handle of how to do stuff, like certain puzzles are pretty easy. But I mean,
is it harder than The Witness?
I think The Witness, along those lines, maybe slightly easier than The Witness, because The Witness was really fucking obtuse sometimes. But I like Talos Principle. I think it's a better game overall because it had a more interesting kind of story with the like AI and robots and stuff like that. Yeah, Myst is boring. It's definitely a lot more interesting than Myst for sure, Breakman.
I hope so. I hate that game.
I like Myst, okay, but
isn't there an Xbox version of the Talos Principle?
There is.
People were going crazy for Myst at the time it came out, and I'm like, oh, what's this? Like, okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah, it was okay.
Bored to tears.
Yeah.
The worst thing about Myst and Riven is that you have to you start with disc 2 and you go to disc 6 and then you go back to disc 1 and bullshit like that.
Yeah. This one
Stupid.
And I will say there's a lot of really cool Easter eggs in Talos Principle. So if you're into like finding like solutions to super obscure obtuse puzzles and like like for like Easter eggs, this is a really good one. There's I beat the game and I only got the one ending, so I went and saw the other endings because there was no way that I was gonna figure out like every single puzzle to get everything in the game to get the ultimate ending. But I mean, it just raises a lot of questions about AI and like religious type questions or non-religion for that matter. But I highly recommend it. I think it's a really good game. It's definitely the longest puzzle game I've ever played in my life. But I'm giving it a solid 8 out of 10. I would have given it higher if not for some of the puzzles being completely obtuse and not really solvable by a normal human being. Like, you have to be like an MIT level person to really think about how to get certain items and stuff.
Meanwhile, I bet if you gave it to your kids, they'd beat it a lot quicker than you.
I doubt it.
No. They make you look bad.
Yeah, probably.
You never tell us about them.
Anybody could make me look. Anybody could make me look bad playing these games, man. But I did all right on it. I challenged myself to not use the guide as much as I normally do, but I had to. I mean, I just had to. There were some puzzles I'm like, this is damn near impossible. Like, how the fuck do you do this? And it took a while on some of them, and I got other ones. There was a good, I'd say at least 10 to 15 puzzles that I was like, I just don't have the patience for this. I can't do it. So, what can you do? So that was Talos Principle. Let's move on to Terminator Dark Fate. So if you don't want to know, I'm going to try to do it spoiler free, and Eric is going to double team on this review too, because I know he has.
No, this is kinky.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was it?
Frank has never beaten the Monty Python and the Holy Grail. How dare you, Freak Fire?
I never played that game.
I
played the demo, but like that was just the demo. The demo came for PC Gamer.
Okay, so
what game I can't beat?
What?
It's Pac-Man. No matter how many times I tried, I can never get to the end.
Yeah,
you can't beat Pac-Man. That's why it has a kill
That's
screen.
the point, Eric. That's the whole point. Okay.
You beat the game when the game says it's had enough of you.
You can get to a kill screen on Pac-Man, so there is that. Same thing with Donkey Kong. Okay. Terminator Dark Fate.
Well, Donkey Kong you do beat. Like, there is an ending.
Yeah.
You save Paulina.
Yeah.
It's Pauline or Paulina?
Paulina, I think it's Paulina.
Pauline.
Is it Pauline?
Pauline?
I thought it was Paulina. Oh well.
No.
Okay. Terminator Dark Fate. This is a direct continuation. It supposedly ignores RPGrinders After Dark.
Yeah, supposedly because it's entirely possible this is a different timeline entirely. But.
Okay, we're going to talk about timelines, Eric, but let me just set up the scenario. So basically this happens after T2, so it ignores all the sequels in between. Although
how many times have they done this now?
I know, but in this case, it kind of made sense. Breakman, I love what they did.
And to the movie's credit, is written by James Cameron, who directed the Terminator 2.
Yes,
and wrote Terminator 2.
In all actuality, it was as well written as it could possibly be. The execution was fine. The chase sequences. Eric made a good point before we went on the air about this being basically another T2.
No, not this. I was talking more about 3 being T2.
Yeah. I think this
one has an interesting angle to it though, because like they work the increasing surveillance state that we have going on right now, and you can basically use phones and cameras to track the progress of anybody.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what the Terminator does.
Yeah, yeah. So it's
And then it also has an ice angle in it too.
yes, and I love the fact that they bring up those, taboo topics that nobody likes to bring up, like kids in cages and human beings in cages that shouldn't be there, and
I read something on Twitter that was interesting about why Cameron made T-1000 look like a cop, and his reasoning was the fact that because cops, by their very nature of their training, basically are programmed to be dehumanized so they can actually do their job.
Yeah, yeah.
Basically that makes them the machines, and the metaphor the movie was trying to convey was that we were basically becoming the machines, and thus the tools of our own destruction.
Yeah,
so they externalize that with the actual machines that kill people.
Yeah. Freak 5 says the action looks like it will be good, but after the last one, the story's probably going to piss me off. It's not, Freak 5. I came in with the same exact mindset, like this is going to piss me off, but they did a couple of things in this one that
I had no expectations for it.
I didn't either. Although I thought it would kind of piss me off, like Freak says, but honestly, they did a good job with it, and something happens at the beginning of this movie that kind of makes a lot of sense, and when they explain it just, to me, like, I really don't want to spoil anything because I think you should watch it and determine for yourself whether it was a good move or a bad move. But let's just say, like, it in my opinion, this movie ends the whole the first timeline. Now it brings up alternative timelines, but it does it in a way that won't make you mad. I can't get too much into it, but basically the plot is the T1. It's a different Terminator. It's a T. No, it's not even T anymore. It's like Rev 9 or something like that. But it's a completely.
Yeah, it is the Rev 9 which is short for revision, I think.
Yeah. But the Rev 9 is basically, if you can imagine like Robert Patrick's character in T2, able to do shit like that, but also able to.
You kind of cut out. I couldn't hear what you were saying.
Did I? Okay. It's basically Robert Patrick's character, but able to kind of split into two separate.
It's kind of like the TX in a way, but like instead of it being solid machine that becomes liquid metal and can manipulate parts of its body in such a way.
Look at this dungeon.
It splits off the liquid metal part and the exoskeleton part, so then they can operate independently of each other.
Look who's back in chat. Dungeon Buster. He says, "What's this? Someone that likes the new Terminator movie? I don't feel so alone anymore." It is good. Dungeon.
No, Dungeon Buster. I haven't seen you in weeks or heard you on Twitter. So.
I knew Eric couldn't wait to get at Dungeon Buster for not being in chat. But
you're playing the Outer Worlds, bastard.
I know. That's exactly what Dungeon's been doing. He's been playing Outer Worlds. But it is good, man. And welcome back, by the way, Dungeon. We appreciate you coming back in chat. But I don't know. I think that Dark Fate addressed a lot of elephant in the room issues, especially with timelines. It
also makes fun of the first movie's plot for being a little misogynistic.
Yes, it does. And I do like the fact it's basically a chase movie, but with like high tech, like surveillance type stuff, like Eric said. And of course, Arnold makes an appearance, and Sarah Connor makes an appearance, and it basically is a good, satisfying ending to that whole timeline, and it starts up a different timeline with a lot of possibilities. I was talking to Bernie about this because she was disappointed in something in the movie, but I said it definitely we don't have to rely on Arnold Schwarzenegger anymore for the Terminator movies. We can put that aside, and now we can go into interesting new avenues without having, without it being tied to Arnold anymore. So I do
that's good
appreciate
because
that.
he's what, 70?
Yeah. I it's just a really good thing. The only question that I had for this particular movie, and I'm going to ask you, Eric, because you saw the movie. What is up with Arnold aging in this movie? There was no exclamation.
I'm understanding that the fleshiness part is a living organism, and that's where the cybernetic organism part comes in.
But why couldn't they even have like one line to explain that? There was nothing in that movie that said, the skin ages, or at least I didn't hear it. Like I kept waiting.
I think they somewhat mentioned it in Genesis, but I'm not entirely certain on that. I might be misremembering.
Yeah. Wyland says, I wish Arnold wasn't a Terminator, but an actual human. Yeah. But, I just, I don't know.
According to the fiction, he had to have been based off an actual human.
Oh, that's true, too. I wonder.
Yeah, so I wonder where the real life equivalent.
Well, they would have killed. They killed him off, then replaced him.
Yeah, he was replaced. Yeah. I think there was a really good comic book that went into that, actually. Wyland would probably know that, but anyways,
he was a dude that died somewhere in the future, I guess. He might have been a soldier, maybe.
Yeah. So I'm giving.
Yeah, I don't know his backstory. That's interesting. I've never really thought about that before.
There was a comic book on it. I'm pretty sure there was a comic book on it.
Just like they were built for infiltration, so like somebody had to have recognized them so they could actually start killing. So.
Yeah. Okay, so what are you giving Terminator Dark Fate, Eric?
I'm gonna give it an 8.
Okay, I was gonna give it an 8.5 because I thought it.
Well, I wasn't sure like if I should make it a 0.5 because like 0.5 if it ends up being like leading to a sequel because there needs to be something to address the unresolved things that happened at the end of the movie.
I totally agree with that, which is fine, but I doubt they're ever going to make another one because apparently it's going to lose a lot of money. A lot of money, man.
Then again, like, and if they like the freedom to do what they wanted, then maybe they could like do their dream sequel anyways. So
yeah.
It's like, we could always ask China to give us money. Sure, why not?
I think that this movie would have been a 10 or a 9, at least a 9 or 9.5, 10 in my book if a couple of things would have been addressed. Like,
I think it would have been more successful the first week if they, one, had done it in the summer, and two, not had so many bad movies before it to make people lose interest.
Yeah, I agree with you on that too. Wyland says there was a deleted scene in T3 where Arnold plays the character the T-800 is based off, Sergeant Candy. Whoa, that would be cool. Oh,
holy shit!
Dungeon found it. Oh,
you guys are amazing. Yeah. I had not known any of this.
That's really cool. That's really. I think there's
I'm
also.
gonna watch this later.
Yeah, I'm yes, absolutely watching this later. Thank you, guys.
That's a funny name for a guy, though. Sergeant Candy.
Yeah. Let's see. But I think there's a comic book too that dealt with that too. So, but I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm looking at I'm trying to look at it while I'm doing the show.
There's so many different movies and Terminator versions that there's nothing that's officially canon anymore, is there? Just the first and second movie are the only things that are officially canon, right?
Yeah. First
now the
now
movie
Dark
also
Fate.
like kind of hints at the fact that the Sarah Chronicles might have happened.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I love that show.
Let's see. It's so bad it's good. Freak says, is anybody watching Nancy Drew on CW?
Did anybody watch the Nancy Drew movie?
No,
happened?
I have no interest in Nancy Drew. Should I be watching that, Freak? Probably, because CW does good series. But all right, you have a review.
Well, like their most popular show apparently is Riverdale, which is on CW. And
yeah, Riverdale.
I have no real interest in Riverdale.
I didn't either, but apparently it's like a grown-up version of Riverdale, like a really kind of dark take on Riverdale. break. So that's something I probably should watch too, but whatever. All right, Eric, you have a review of Luigi's Mansion 3.
Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah, Luigi.
Anyways,
Waluigi's Mansion.
Yeah,
this is the
Waluigi.
third entry to the Luigi's Mansion series. It's interesting that they call it Luigi's Mansion 3 because Dark Moon didn't have 2 in the title, yet in Japan it did. But, anyways, it is Luigi's Mansion game, and it expands on the elements that were introduced in Dark Moon, like the ability to slam Ghost, and that's actually a more effective way of reducing their HP to 0. And you can actually slam Ghost into other ghosts, which I don't think you could do in Dark Moon. It's much easier to suck up multiple ghosts at once if you flash them all. And you start off with the strobe, because, like, I feel like the 3DS port of Luigi's Mansion was kind of setting us up for Luigi's Mansion 3, because, like, the ability to charge your strobe light was something that was introduced in that game. So that's interesting, that control scheme's on there by default. But, anyways, there are a couple of other extra things, like the introduction of Luigi, which is also in the 3DS game, but he wasn't used to play the single player. In this game, he's integrated into the single player, because there's puzzles you have to solve where stepping on a switch with Luigi and Luigi, or having to use him to go through grates that Luigi can't get through.
Okay, so Luigi is the Rev 9 confirmed.
Yeah, he's actually a Terminator.
All right.
Mario doesn't have a brother. This is why Luigi's player 2, because Mario built him.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so continue on.
Anyways, the boss fights in this game are they're not like normal boss fights. It's more like you go into a room, you fight a special ghost, and they have like more HP than normal ghosts. And once you beat a boss, you don't get like some weird sequence that like says end of level, because the game's one big world instead. So I kind of wish there were a little bit more variety in the standard ghost enemies, because like there's only so many types compared. Like there are rare ghosts, but you only fight those in the multiplayer modes, which is dumb. It's like they should have had some of those rare ghosts show up in the single player. Whatever, but there's apparently going to be online multiplayer DLC in the future, because right now it's local only. But and it's kind of like a King of the Hill situation: who can catch the most ghosts or whatever, or get the most money.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm gonna give this game. It looks and plays right. I mean, the games has basically it's a solid 30 frames. I don't think there were any dips in the frame rate in the game, so that's cool. Because like I knew they couldn't get 60, so a solid 30 is great.
So what are you giving Luigi's Mansion 3, Eric?
I'm gonna give it a 9.
Wow, good score. Yeah, it looked interesting to me. I never played the original, but
one of the things I didn't like about the game is the fact that they could have done a little bit more to innovate than they did. But Next Level Games is definitely getting its sea legs, and as a game developer, I feel.
good.
So
That's good, man.
I hope they make something a little bit more substantial, and maybe actually eventually do an original title instead of just doing a remake of Punch-Out and then more Luigi's Mansion sequels.
Yeah. Freak says, I bet the T-1000 started as a sex bot, and that's why that is why they turned on humans. And he said he would love a sex bot that could change its appearance to look like any woman, because he really wanted it to look like B. Arthur. So that's why he's excited for that. Okay, we're gonna hold off on Doctor Sleep. Both Eric and I saw Doctor Sleep, and you're gonna want to tune in next week to hear that review. Anybody have a heist?
Why are you holding off on it?
I want to give people a chance to watch it. Especially in chat and stuff, and listening on the archives. So I don't like to do reviews the day of. I really don't, because if I end up spoiling something, then I feel really, really bad. So I'm just I just want to give it at least a week.
So when we inevitably do Avengers 5, you don't want to talk about it the day of?
I don't, because sometimes you need a week to kind of process what you saw, and I feel like I need a week to think about Doctor Sleep and process my review and my feelings and stuff like that. So Dungeon says, now I want to watch Cherry 2000 again for some reason. I wonder why, Dungeon. Okay. Anybody have a heist-capade this week? I had one, but I'm going to hold off on it. You break? No?
Huh? What?
Okay.
Oh, sorry, no.
All right. Eric, you? Nothing?
No.
All right. Let's move on.
Ah, what is it?
Stinko of the week.
All right, Break. You're up. You're Stinko of the week.
It's been a long week. There's some shit I don't want to get into, and then other shit I'll go ahead and complain about, like the weather and we're going into winter. I mean, it's not even winter for another month and like a half. But the temperatures have already plummeted, and next week they're supposed to drop in. They're in the 20s today, and next week they're supposed to be even colder, and it's supposed to get snow and shit like that. And just I hate it. And to top it off, we did the fall back an hour, so now it gets darker sooner. You know?
Yeah, you do gain the hour of sleep, though. You know, sort of.
You gain that 1 hour, but it's the hour that they took from you in the spring.
Yeah, I know, and I mean, it's that perpetual argument of should we even have daylight saving time bullshit. Yeah.
Well, I personally think we should spring forward one more time and then stay there.
Yeah.
Because I like it being lighter later, personally. Like it's 5:30 and it's already pitch dark out. That's miserable, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Freak 5 says American Horror Story 1984 is still going great. I agree.
I need to watch
Also,
it.
we're also inexplicably the only country that does this nonsense.
That's true too. I want to see that. I need to watch American Horror Story because, man, I need to get the taste of Walking Dead out of my mouth, man.
Walking Dead's good. Fear the Walking Dead, not so much.
No,
I hear
Walking
a lot
Dead
of people
sucks,
talking
man.
about how Blackadder and Fawlty Towers are good, but like apparently they're not streaming on Netflix in this country for some stupid reason.
'Cause America. That's why. All right. What else, Breakman? Any other stinkos you want to talk about?
Oh no.
Apparently, the only way to watch it on Netflix is to use VPN and then get on Netflix.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to watch stuff in that region.
Yeah. Hey, Eric, you're Stinko. Or Stinkos.
But, my Stinkos, I got a couple of them. Blizzard's non-apology.
Oh, boy. We've been talking about this all show.
Where they made an apology for something that they never mentioned directly. So people were wondering, are you even really apologizing? Because you're not even saying what you're apologizing for.
They're not. They're not taking responsibility. They're not doing anything.
Some people have assumed, probably correctly, that they're apologizing to the gamers who don't want to get all this political shit in. Just give us the games.
Well, okay.
Fuck those people.
Here's the thing. It's all about China money, right? That's what it's all about. It's about appeasing China.
And plus, your apology's insincere when you're continuing to punish people for being pro-Hong Kong.
Yeah, you know what it should have been? It should have been, you know what? Mea culpa, my bad. Let's end the suspension, and we will issue a personal formal apology, give that money up, and continue on. Freedom of speech always has a platform on our.
I'm not entirely certain China would drop them anyways, because people make remarks about how the president of China looks like Winnie the Pooh, and the security detail doesn't even give a shit. So
yeah, it's like
they did this a pure knee-jerk reaction to, oh no, we don't want to upset Master China.
I mean, I understand that a good chunk of their money comes. I think it's like when I saw the numbers, it's like 40 to 45% of their money comes from China. So it's a huge chunk of their money. But look, if you believe in the ideals of the United States of free speech, as long as you're not, calling for the head of somebody or trying to cause riots and stuff like that. I mean, supporting democracy in other places is not a bad thing. I don't know. I'm with you guys 100%. Like, it was stupid to ban the guy in the first place. I totally agree, man.
As long as Blizzard's behaving like this, I'm not buying any of their games.
Yeah, I think
I'm not buying any of theirs that
new.
They get money for.
Yeah, new.
I can buy them used or off of out of the back of a truck or something.
Yeah.
And if you're talking about Diablo specifically, there are a number of alternatives you can play instead of that, like Passive Exile, which is free.
Yeah, or Divinity.
Torchlight's another good. The Torchlight series is good too.
Torchlight, Divinity. Divinity is a great series. Another Diablo.
I thought Divinity was more like D&D game.
Yeah, but if you wanted a kind of a Diablo kind of feel to it, but with D&D more in it, then Divinity is a good alternative, man. I mean, what we're saying is there's alternatives, Eric. That's the point. All right, what else you got?
There's also Titan Quest. You can play that.
Yep. What else you got?
Yeah, see, like, there are Oreo cookies, and then there are Hydrox cookies.
The same thing, but a little bit different, you know?
Yeah,
I don't know.
They
Hydrox
exactly the same, but the Hydrox are cheaper and
Mhm.
not as well known, and they're actually.
I don't know where to find Hydrox.
The Hydrox cookies were around before, actually came out before Oreos.
Yes, I agree. And
the only thing I like about Oreo now is their sheer variety compared to Hydrox now.
But I think Oreo puts something in their cookies that makes them addictive, though.
Yeah.
There's something in there that's I don't know what it is. Maybe they put cocaine in
cocaine. Yeah, cocaine.
Yeah, I think they do put the cocaine in the cookies. Yeah.
Yeah. Dungeon Butts would make.
What if the cocaine was the frosting?
It's all cocaine.
Yeah, people just snorting the frosting out of the Oreos. Dungeon says, you're right. Divinity games are more akin to tactical RPGs. But Titan Quest and Grim Dawn are definitely Diablo-likes that are lots of fun. Grim Dawn was actually made by the people behind Titan Quest, too. So there you go.
I heard the Switch version of Titan Quest wasn't so well optimized, and you're better off playing it on PC.
I don't know.
Right. The Switch and the PS4, because I think it was a simultaneous thing.
Yeah. What else you got, Eric Stinko?
Obama shitting on progressives for criticizing politicians that were corrupt.
Yeah, that's stupid. I saw that video, and
it was all about like him railing against cancel culture. It's like, yeah, cancel culture has done bad things, but it's mostly good. So shut up.
Yeah, you know, I stopped listening to Obama after he brought us from 2 to 7 wars. Yeah. So. You know, fuck Obama,
wars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're currently in 7. I don't know if it got up to 8, but it was 8 at one point. I know it was 7.
It's 7. We're at 7, and Trump is very close to bringing us to 8. So you know, that's the one good thing about Trump so far. He hasn't gotten us in any extra wars. So, you know. I don't know.
No, but he's definitely working on it with what he's done in Syria.
Oh, yeah. He's working on it. He definitely is heading that way.
Because letting about, it was about 1,000 ISIS troops?
Yep.
Going from Republican neoliberal wannabes, neoliberals suck in the first place, but he's basically pretending to be a neoliberal because neoliberals pretend to be progressive.
Yeah.
But going from one to a libertarian shitlord, Bill Gates, continuing to suck by claiming that Elizabeth Warren's tax plans could be dangerous.
Yeah, here's the thing. I don't agree with Elizabeth Warren's tax plan because it doesn't, she's talking about a head tax as opposed to just, you know, coming out and saying that we do need to tax a little bit more, but you'll save money and overall the cost will be down. Like she dances around the issue with this stupid head tax, which will end up costing us more. But Bill Gates is a special kind of piece of shit because he was talking about like his taxes, like if it got, you know, he doesn't mind being taxed, you know, instead of 10 million or 10 billion being taxed 20 billion, but when we talk about 100 billion, that's when he has a problem. But here's the problem. Bill Gates is worth, first of all, I don't think there ever should be even a billionaire.
If you're earning that much money, something's wrong.
Yeah, being an oligarch is not a good thing. I don't care if you have good intentions. I don't care if you're a great philanthropist. I don't care if you're not giving up like 75% of your money or 80% of your money like to philanthropic purposes. I don't want to hear your mouth.
It's a gross misdistribution wealth that even creates billionaires.
Because even if they took $100 billion away from Bill Gates, guess what? He's still a multi-billionaire. And if you can't live off of $1 billion, then you're doing it all wrong. You're doing it all wrong. There's only so much money that you can spend and, give to your kids. And, in your lifetime, $100 billion is just astronomically stupid money. It's just dumb. When you get to $1 billion, I mean, you've made it. And there's no need to worry about money ever again. $1 billion is a shit ton of fucking money.
We literally have not learned a goddamn thing from the Middle Ages. The merchants and the bankers from those eras basically tried to create their own class system when they realized that the old class system was falling apart. Yeah. And instead of lords and kings in charge, now we got people with the money in charge.
Yeah. And maybe we should look at it a different way, because I've been hearing these talking points on TV about is taxing billionaires more of a punishment? And, maybe we should get that way where we say, if you make a certain amount of money, we are going to punish you. If you make more than that and you're not just donating it to, any charity that needs it or something like that, maybe you should be punished. Maybe it should be a punishment. You get up to...
I don't know. Maybe we should make Swiss bank accounts illegal.
It's not really a punishment. It used to be like
or any
that.
kind of offshore investment.
And rich people were still the wealthy people.
Yes.
They were still able to live above other people. Essentially.
Yes.
But people were able to own their own homes.
Yep.
And have a family of 5 or 3 kids and a dog and a picket fence and shit like that.
Yes.
It's harder today.
Yeah.
And people keep talking about how great the economy is. Jobs. Yeah, jobs. What about pay raises?
Yep. We haven't had a pay raise in how long? Like the minimum wage, I believe the federal minimum wage is still $11 an hour. That's not even a fucking living wage.
Like the money you get in a food service industry, people should be getting a lot more money for that.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like for somebody to say, if you take $100 billion and I still have $2 billion, then that's...
Why is it flipping burgers is somehow a less valued job when it's like you're serving food that's essential to people to live?
Look, let's just end this argument, okay? I believe $15 an hour is a damn fair fucking minimum wage, okay? Now, people say...
It should be higher, but that's like the baseline.
I agree, but $15 should be the very, very baseline. I actually think it should be like what Rashida Tlaib says, like $20 to $25 an hour. And I don't care if you're flipping burgers or fucking in an accounting firm. If you
can't operate a business within that cost, then you don't deserve to be a business.
Yes, I totally agree. And Breakman, to your point, we were doing this. We were taxing richer people at a higher rate at one point. And
they weren't
corporations.
Being punished. It wasn't a punishment.
It wasn't a punishment. Right.
You were still making great money. You were still making more than everybody else.
Yes.
You were a great contributor to the economy, and you were still rich and wealthy and powerful.
And corporations were effectively taxed, I think, at 70%. I think that's what their tax rate was at one point. And now it's 21% plus loopholes to the point where people like Amazon, that company Amazon, doesn't pay anything in taxes. Effectively zero. They pay no taxes.
That's one of the biggest problems is if everybody in Congress knows about these loopholes.
Yes, and they won't do anything about it.
Yeah, they do nothing about them. It's because, these companies like Amazon are, lobbying.
Yep. Speaking of lobbying, Breakman, that brings me to my Stinko of the Week, and it's
I know, I was...
Joe Biden. Yep, nice transition there. Joe Biden's my Stinko of the Week because he wasn't taking super PAC money, right? And if people don't know what super PACs are, they are basically lobbying companies that can put as much money into this, super PAC and donate to a campaign, right? In other words, they can donate unlimited money to said candidate like Joe Biden with no repercussions. You know what I call that? I call that bribe. Because anybody that puts money into a super PAC, do you not expect them to want something in return for the millions of dollars that they put into that super PAC? That's what's going on.
NRA does.
NRA does it. The pharmaceutical industry does it. The war, what do they call that? The war industrial complex does it. Like there are so many lobbying firms out there that pour millions upon millions of dollars so that they can make billions off of these plays. That's why somebody like Bernie Sanders is so compelling to a person like me, and should be compelling to anybody that wants money out of politics. Bernie Sanders does not take money from any PACs, and he specifically says that there are 0 billionaires supporting him. Whereas if you look at the other candidates, including Elizabeth Warren, there are a treasure trove of billionaires supporting those campaigns. Why? Because they want to keep their money.
Either they're supporting those or they're jumping in themselves. Like, look at Bloomberg.
Oh, God. Yeah. Steyer is another one.
Yeah. Bloomberg basically announced that he's going to jump in.
So basically,
and Hillary keeps hinting that.
Oh, brother! I hope that happens. I hope Hillary enters, because there's no chance. You know what it'll do? It'll ruin the neolibs chances, like Pete Buttigieg and even Elizabeth Warren and Joe Biden. It will destroy them, and Bernie will rise. He's going to rise anyways. I think Bernie's going to win this thing, but we talk about it all the time, Breakman. Money in politics should be, other than climate change, I think the biggest issue in politics is money in politics. And all these super PACs and PACs, it should be public funded. If you want to run for office, you ask the people for your money, not corporations, not multi-billionaires. You have a maximum of 20, whatever the maximum is. If it's 2,700 or whatever, I think the max, because I've been donating to Bernie, I think the max that I can donate is $2,700. I think that's fair. I think you come up with a set number that's way, within somebody's budget to donate to a specific campaign, and you cap it at that. And that way, if a corporation wants to donate $2,700, that's not going to impact the way that a candidate feels or does for someone. If you have unlimited money that can be donated into your campaign, then of course you're going to want to do legislations to help that company or that multi-billionaire, more so than the average person. So Joe Biden for accepting PAC, because his campaign was in trouble. Like, he had $9 million left because he was doing lavish hotels and private jets and all this shit, and he was left with basically $9 million, which sounds like a lot of money, but when you're running a presidential campaign, it's basically nothing. A third of what Bernie is doing. So, money in politics, we talk about it all the time, Breakman. That's why Joe Biden's my stink of the week. But we need to move on. Do I still have both of you guys with us, or did I lose you?
Yep.
Okay.
Dude, what does my tattoo say?
Sweet! Sweeto of the week.
All right, Breakman, your sweeto of the week.
My sweeto goes to, I guess I could probably just read the headline. Donald Trump ordered to pay $2 million to charity to settle Trump Foundation lawsuit.
I saw that, and that is awesome.
Also, the GOP lost Kentucky. That's my okay. That was my.
I know
spirit.
Bevan's gonna keep fighting it, but God, he is such a dick. I'm sick of his shit. He hasn't had like the support of Trump until recently, but he's been like very Trump-like, getting on Twitter, bullying people and stuff like that. Just for instance, when there was a girl who was killed by gun violence, but a little girl, she was home because there was a school strike going on, so he blamed the school teachers.
Yes.
For a gun killing a child.
Yeah, he said if they weren't. Oh no, it was even worse than that. He blamed the teachers for sexual assaults on kids if they're being left at home.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Like he just is shit like that. Like it just come on, dude.
Yeah.
And before, I think he was even like in Trump's camp, like he was very Trumpish.
Yeah.
But then recently Trump went in, and obviously was given 100% support, and
It didn't
you
work.
can't lose for me because it would look terrible,
It's terrible for him because it should be, and that guy sucks. Like you said, he's mini Trump. He's Trump Jr. basically. So I'm glad he lost, and he's still whining and not conceding and all that. But it's
we knew that. I mean, that's exactly what's going to happen with Trump. If he loses an election, he is going to fight tooth and nail.
Yeah, that's fine. He can fight all the way out of the White House, and he can bitch and complain away from the White House, which is nowhere where he should have been in the first place. So, yeah, I totally agree, Brakeman.
He should be in jail, but
that's true.
A different story.
We can work on that later.
There should be a trial, obviously, but he committed treason like blatantly. For the world to see. I mean, there you go. Like that should be like, here we go, Your Honor, play the tape.
Yeah.
Okay, I rest my case.
Yeah. It's not going to be that easy, Brakeman, but
no, it's not. But it should be.
It should be.
You're fucking kidding me.
Yeah. I mean, due process.
On the insanity. It's just it's insane.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll end soon. So All right. Anything else, Brake?
No, that's pretty good.
All right, Eric. Do you have a sweeto this week? You mentioned Kentucky.
Yeah. They got a Democratic governor now.
Yeah, he's
Matt Bevin's a douchebag.
Yeah, Bashir's more of a.
And apparently McConnell is in danger of losing his seat, so I hope he does.
Yeah, it depends.
I'm not big on Bashir either, but anybody is better than Matt Bevin.
Yeah, McConnell I think is going to be safe unless that Matt Jones runs. Matt Jones is more of a progressive than Amy McGrath. McGrath is a pro-Trumper. Yeah, she's a Democrat, pro-Trump Democrat, and
what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't like her at all.
That's the reason that right there is there needs to be two parties. I mean, needs to be more than two parties.
Yep, I agree. Totally
doesn't
agree.
that say it right there? Because basically you're supposed to be for one party, you're supposed to be anti-Trump and other.
Well, it's like
not supposed to be.
I don't always agree with Jimmy Dore. In fact, I think he's a jerk most of the time about a lot of things on like social issues, but like not understanding like how like YouTube's algorithm sucks and shit. But anyways, the only thing I can agree with him is that basically excuse me, now I've lost my thought. I had it and then
Jimmy Dore. You're talking about Jimmy Dore.
Yeah, Jimmy Dore, and he's basically right about the fact that like I said, I lost my thought.
Okay.
I had it. If I get back to it, I'll let you know.
Okay, no worries, man. No worries at all. I was happy in Virginia. It's all Democratic in Virginia as well, even though most of them are centrist piece of shit Democrats. I mean, eventually the title.
Like I'm not a fan of the Democratic Party. I'm not but Trump is dangerous. He's a danger to the Democratic Republic. I mean, he's violated our laws in plain sight and has gotten away with it. Yeah,
the Democrats are the ones to blame for Trump, though, Brakeman, because
they're both parties are to blame. Both parties. But the Democrats have failed royally when it's come to Trump.
Yeah, and they're failing miserably on this impeachment thing. I just and they're going to try to screw Bernie again. But that's why I was saying, Brakeman, I hope Hillary enters the race because then she's going to split the centrist votes. And Bernie will rise. He always does. I mean, he made up 60 points against Hillary Clinton, and the superdelegates gave it to fucking... Bernie Sanders won every county in West Virginia, but the superdelegates decided to give their votes to Hillary Clinton. So what does that tell you? They don't give a fuck about the way people vote. Mm-hmm. So I'm just hoping this time around, Bernie gets 51% of the vote, and then we don't have to worry about the super delegates. But we'll see.
We have like there are like the Libertarian Party and the Green Party and stuff like that, but those parties are really kept out of it.
Yeah,
for the most part. And the Independent Party, they're the only ones who can get a little bit in there, but
yeah,
it's hard. It's really hard for even them.
Anybody blaming?
It's weird too, because like if you register as independent, you can't vote in the primaries. This is bullshit. But like that, especially because there are independent candidates who run. Yeah. So it's like, if you're independent, shouldn't you be able to on that basis alone?
Yeah, but it's not that way. It's a two-party system. Brake and I have talked about this for years. It doesn't work.
Both parties have done everything they can to make sure of that.
Yep. Freak says his sweeto was he got a new phone. So congratulations, man. What type? My sweeto is Dr. Sleep. We're going to do a review next week. It's gonna definitely get a recommend from me, and I'll probably plug it. And Eric is super excited about that.
I'm tired.
All right, well,
I think I need some food because like
that's our cue. That's our cue to move on to. It's a free-for-all. Okay, this week's free for all was brought up by Eric. I want to give Eric a little bit of credit here. I don't have the link to the article, Eric, but I named this "When Gaming Fandom Goes Wrong" because there's been a bit of a morale problem with what's the name of the company?
Game Freak, the Pokemon company, especially.
Yeah, the Game Freak, the Pokemon company. Because they were getting a lot of negativity about the new Pokemon game and how they didn't add all the Pokemon to the game. So you want to talk a little bit about that, Eric, and then we'll go on.
Yeah, lots of gamers are really attached to the past, and that's worrying on its own face. But the fact is, like, they're pooping on the new Sword and Shield game and looking for issues that sometimes don't even exist, like the fact that they've reused assets in the game for Sword and Shield when that's a practice that existed in game development since forever, and they shouldn't be fault for them. It's like, you want them to waste tons of money and resources and possible mental health issues and contribute to crunch like so many other AAA companies to get like the best looking game ever. And even then, you probably still won't be satisfied. It's like these people have no sense of how difficult game development is and how expensive game development is. And they don't treat the people who work on these games as real people. They just want their instant gratification of playing a video game and enjoying themselves. And that's toxic fandom, and it's almost a lot like a religious cult. These people's lives are so empty and boring that like they can't live without the thing that they want, and they feel like they're entitled to getting it.
Here's the thing, Eric. To be devil's advocate and to be fair, I think part of the blame of this has to go with the executives of these companies that make the big decisions, whether or not it was Game Freak's executives or Nintendo's or whatever. Like, making a big decision that affects a game that is a franchise that is beloved and is perceived in a bad way. I don't think you can put the entire blame on gamers. I think some of the blame has to be, for instance, we talked about Blizzard.
Here's
right?
the thing, though. Like, they want certain Pokemon in the game, and they can't have every Pokemon in the game because it's logistically impossible to do that with the current technology we have.
Yeah, I
mean, you could accuse Game Freak at least of dropping features they put in previous titles and just not using them in the second title.
Yeah,
This isn't one of those things.
I don't like
it's
when
a lot more complex than that, and they're asking for the impossible here.
When criticisms are just that, criticisms of features in games, I don't have a problem with it, Eric. But If it ends up being just a bunch of ad hominem attacks against, the developers and the employees, that's when things break down, and that's when gamers
Yeah, because I
should
think
take
they've
fault.
been like tweeting them on social media,
Yeah, it's stuff like that you're right.
basically harassing them.
It's very toxic. But I think like fair criticisms of like, somebody like Blizzard, like we did earlier. We do this all the time. We criticize game companies for making horrible decisions, right? And a horrible decision like banning somebody for speaking out and having a voice is terrible. That whole Blitz.
So I wonder how much of this Blizzard bullshittery is due to Blizzard just being bullshit, and we're just seeing it now, or Amazon or Activision's influence is larger than we thought.
I think it's been going on all along, Eric. I think it's just been brought to the forefront. Freak 5, it was Billy Madison. I agree. Like, fair criticism is a fair criticism. Like, I watch Jim Sterling a lot, and I like Jim Sterling because he's a lot like me. Like, he brings up bullshit that companies are doing and lays it all out there for everybody to see. And we do that on this show. If something's wrong, we're going to call it out for what it is. Now, we're not going to say, the makers of the game are pieces of shit, but I will say that an executive for making that decision is a piece of shit. So that's why I was bringing up, like you have to make the distinction between, using ad hominem attacks or a really good criticism of a game or even of a person. Like I say Joe Biden's a piece of shit all the time. Now his family might think he's the greatest thing since buttered toast, but I mean the policies that he's enacted over the years, like the drug policies that he's enacted that help put countless minorities behind bars. The fact that he doesn't care to support Medicare for all when people are dying in the street, or 30 million are uninsured. I'm one of them. Or 60 million people or 70 million people being underinsured because they can't afford the high fucking premiums, then yeah, I think it's a fair criticism to say you're a piece of shit. You could have voted the other way. Or the fact that he voted for the Iraq war and hides behind the fact that George Bush was lying to him when, I mean, it's clear as day the Iraq war was a stupid war to get into, and instead of admitting you're wrong and changing your ways, you're still the same way. Yeah, fuck that.
That reminds me, like, I could have had Ellen DeGeneres as a stinko that one week that we didn't do the show.
Yeah, I think I talked about that.
Palling around with George W. Bush and basically being an apologist for his.
Yeah,
and completely ignoring the fact that he should be considered a war criminal.
He is a war criminal. He is a war criminal. So is Obama. Obama's a war criminal. And I don't have one problem saying it.
Fuck you and your difference of opinion bullshit, Ellen. That doesn't mean shit when that's George W. Bush.
No, when you have a war criminal, that's like if Saddam Hussein was alive and still in his country, and somebody
fucking Mother Teresa palling around with Castro.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make Castro anything less than a fucking war criminal, and by the way, Mother Teresa was a piece of shit too, but that's a whole different story that we could get into.
And Gandhi and the Dalai Lama, they all suck.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's just a lot of negativity in the gaming world, but you know what? I think overall, there's positive vibes in the game, and we've made lots of strides, to be better. But there's a lot of things like, misogyny and a lot of things that need to be changed in gaming culture.
I'm going to follow Jim Sterling's lead and call Ellen DeGeneres Ellen Degenerate from now on.
Yeah, she is a degenerate, and she sucks. And anybody that supports a war criminal is not okay in my book. If you're sitting around laughing, having a good time...
Or you're completely idiotic and ignorant of all the bullshit they done somehow.
Freak 5 is exiled.
All of the bad information about that person.
Rich people are different than us. They only hang out with other rich people for the most part.
Yeah.
And they'll look past their flaws because they'd rather be with rich people than be around us. Because I can get them not wanting to be mobbed by people, fans all the time, like wanting their autograph and all over them, like tell me a story and stuff like that. But,
yeah, but it didn't used to be that way. Break. We talked about it. Like there weren't nearly as many billionaires and millionaires as there are now, and you could hang out with somebody that had more money. You know what I mean? And be friends with that person. And you're right. Like rich people don't hang out with non-rich people anymore. It's not that way. Like, Joe Schmo doesn't hang out with, fur coat Ellen in Manhattan anymore. It doesn't happen that way. It's just, we're too good for you. I mean, do you think that the Trump family ever interacts with regular people other than those stupid Trump rallies that they go in and out of, Break? Like, it just doesn't happen.
After worshiping him, he does. Like, he loves praise.
Yeah,
obviously.
but do you think that he gives a shit about any of those people in his fucking rally?
I didn't say he gives a shit about him. I'm saying if they start praising him, like he's walking down saying, I love you, Mr. President Trump, I love you. Like, he'd stop and have his head up in the air and like start shaking and, oh, God.
Freak 5 says I can.
He can enjoy himself.
Yeah, Freak 5 says
Trunks very unholy kink.
Freak 5 says I can kind of understand rich people wanting to be around other rich people they don't know who is just friends because of their money. But see, that's the thing. It's all about status, Freak 5. Like, if that's the way you live your life, then you're not living life. You're not understanding.
Yeah, I'm sure Bill Gates has no problem hanging out with the person with the pedo jet. What was his name?
Oh, Epstein. That's a whole story in itself.
And his whole argument, like, you shouldn't tax the rich because then you eat into philanthropy.
Oh, get the fuck out of
here!
Like
that's your defense, really, man. Like, you are really you do a lot. You do a lot of philanthropy, but there are a lot of rich people who don't. Like, our president, for instance.
Yeah, Freak 5 says.
But even still, like, you were a friend of Epstein's. Yeah. I think we should be looking into your love for.
Yeah, and Epstein.
Like little girls.
He was friends with Epstein after he was a registered sex offender too. So there's that. Freak 5 says Trump loves them in mobs, but individually he probably is disgusted by them. That's exactly right. Like, he doesn't like.
Oh yeah. Oh, he absolutely does not like people.
No, you think the average Trump voter, the good old boy from the South, has anything in common with Trump, who was born in New York, and come on, man.
He hates dogs, for instance. You see that picture of him with it, like he took, that he photoshopped of him putting a medal around that dog.
Yes.
Because he hates dogs. He wants nothing to do with them.
Who the fuck hates dogs? Like, that's super
Donald
rare.
Trump hates dogs.
I know, but isn't that like a super rare thing? Like dogs are the most loyal fucking things on the planet. Like, it's so weird. Freak says, I'm just saying, if you're rich, is that poor person hanging out with you because they like you or because you're... I think you can judge. I think you can judge that, Freak. I mean, that's just the way it is. As I get the hiccups.
I don't know. People can be manipulative.
Yeah, they can, but you don't get to be a rich person if you're easily manipulated. You know what I mean? Like
Donald Trump got rich because his daddy gave him money.
Yeah, but
a lot of rich people get money because their daddy gave it to them or mommy gave it to them.
No, I agree. I totally agree. That's why we should never.
There are a lot of gullible rich people.
We should really never have that situation.
If that wasn't the case, things like Scientology wouldn't flourish because they couldn't get the kind of money they want from the poor.
Yeah,
they have to get it from rich people too.
Ugh. Okay, interesting discussion for sure. I'm sure we could, probably eat up at least 2-3 hours on wealth and privilege and non-privilege and shit like that. But I think it's time to make this one a wrap. This makes up for last week when we had a super long show. But
I do have a lulls this week, but like I kind of forgot to mention it last week, but Kanye West's new album had patch notes because they had to fix the lyrics in the song.
Ugh, boy. So bad. His music is terrible anyways. Like, I like hip-hop and R&B and stuff like that, but man, Kanye I could never get into.
Because, like, he went all Christian and, like, apparently you need to say God more in your song.
Oh, boy.
Well, he's he's really integrated himself into the Trump type crowd, and that's what he's trying to profit off now. Once Trump's out of office, he's going to switch his allegiance to whoever's next.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because do you remember Kanye was the one famously that they panned to on MTV, and he said that George Bush was a racist, and it was like this awkward, like super awkward pause. Like it was really funny. But okay, I think that's all we got. Break, plug away.
You can follow me at wait, what am I? Who am I?
RPGrinders.
Oh, right, at RPGrinders on Twitter and at break_man on Twitter. I think. That's right.
Send Breakman some questions. We'll
Dear Breakman's been
so lonely on Dear Breakman the past couple weeks.
Like I don't get any. Nobody wants my advice. I'm trying to save everybody. I'm trying to save your relationship. It doesn't even have to be about a relationship. It could be your job or
money. We were talking about money today.
Money, like I can tell you how to get rich, like me.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, right.
I can't even do that with a straight face, Breakman.
I'm getting yelled at from the other room. It's not pleasant even though I can hear.
All right, Eric, what you got?
You could find me on sites I've written reviews for, like BossBashBrigade.com. I have 2 reviews I've written, but I haven't submitted them yet. So see, check next week. They'll be probably doled out over the next couple days. And I actually asked a question on Twitter, and nobody answered it, so I feel sad. So I need to promote myself more, I guess. But
what's the question?
The question was about a game called Destiny Connect and whether or not there's like anything like an end, because I'm like 8 chapters in the game that's about 20 hours long, and I still haven't found anything that resembles an end to heal my health to max.
Yeah.
But so I've been subsisting on items and leveling up to get my HP back to max.
Freak5 says, I think we need to ask how not to end up like you, Break.
Charge more for a blowjob.
Well, that's the whole point of it.
That
Like
5 cents thing didn't work out very well.
That's the whole thing about Dear Breakman. He's already telling you how to sort of live your life by telling you exactly not how to live it.
Maybe that's the whole point. It's like super meta. It's like one of these things like it's the opposite is true. But all right, Eric.
It's like the Holy Bible is called the good book because it's a guidebook on how to not live your life.
All right, Eric. What else you got?
You can, so if you go to those sites and like my reviews and you want to support me, as little as $1 in my Patreon would help me a lot. I could use it to buy new equipment, like getting a new router and modem, so I could do this show more efficiently.
That'd be nice, man. That'd be definitely nice.
Or maybe I could do videos again because I would be actually upload at a faster rate.
Yeah. All right.
What else? I think my internet speeds are stunted because I'm using really old modems and a router that's like close to 15 years old router at this point. But anyways, my Patreon link is in my Twitter account at EricRPG, and that's all I have to really say.
All right. I'm going to plug my Twitter handle at Frank Branches. You can follow me there. All the systems, whether it's Nintendo, Sony, or Microsoft Xbox, you can follow me there at Jesus Christ, RPGrinders on all the systems. So look me up there, and I'll add you. I added somebody. I can't remember. I got to give them a shout out next show, but I'll give you a shout out on the show if you add me to your friends list there. And go see Dr. Sleep. Also, I want to say next week I'll do a Heiscapade, and let's just say it involves power tools. So you guys are going to want to tune in next week for that. It's a pretty funny story. But anyways, that's all I got. You guys got anything else?
I just want to know how many fingers you lost.
How dare you? How dare you? I'm very good with power tools, you son of a bitch.
Well, let me ask the cowbell what it says.
Okay, cowbell.
But is a cowbell an And the 8-ball.
Oh, okay. You're telling the truth. Cowbell says you're telling the truth.
Breakman, you know
Are you
Breakman.
sure, Cowbell?
You know Breakman has
Alright,
lost
this
it
is
when
like-
he's talking to
This
his
is like
cowbell.
that Mormon golden dish shit.
Or the magic underwear from the Mormons, man. Yeah, there you go. Frank was sound. How dare you, Freak 5? You're exiled, you son of a bitch. Anything else, Eric? How dare you? How dare you? Anything else, Eric? No?
Worst death ever.
Okay. That's about it for us. Take care this weekend. We want to see you back here next week. Until then, we are out. Later, everybody.
You like this new outro, Cowbell? I won't tell him what you said. I'm not gonna repeat that.
How dare you? Great outro.
I didn't say anything. Cowbell. It knows all.
How dare you? Hate you all. Walking off this show.
I almost laughed. I almost laughed during Doctor Sleep because like the very beginning.
Don't spoil. Don't spoil for anybody.
All I have to say is they really did that in this movie.
Yeah, don't spoil anything. Okay, everybody in chat, thank you guys so much. Dungeon, welcome back. I know.
I was gonna tell you after we're off air. So.
Yeah, Wyland was in chat. I appreciate that. Another TV viewer was back in there. Thank you so much, Commander Root. Bernie was in there, of course. Good friend Freak 5, good friend Wyland, good friend Dungeon, and Windsock. Welcome back. Thank you guys all. Really, really, really appreciate everything. You guys rock. Later, everybody.